Wait a second, tier lists are dumb. What the hell are you doing? So-and-so said tier lists don't matter. Should we ignore this one? No, you shouldn't. This is the single most important tier list in Guilty Gear Strive. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Guilty Gear. Today we're talking about tier lists. We're talking about the most important tier list ever made for Guilty Gear Strive, and that's because it's the music tier list. What the hell did you think I was talking about? Tier lists are kind of dumb. They're only relevant to pro-level players, and if you try and make arguments based on, oh, I'm on floor 6, but you're playing a higher tier character than I am, clearly you should have won. That's not how tier lists work. That's not what they do. It's been a week. Give it a rest. It's fine. But the music, however, this is something we can all objectively form opinions on. I am sure there is not a drop of subjectivity going to be happening here. No siree. If you disagree with anything on this tier list, well, congratulations, you are wrong. And that's all there is really to say on that. So we have some distinctive categories. First of all, Catch Me Sing Along All Round, which is for the real jam tracks that are good throughout the entire thing, that, could instantly go on your playlist, and you would not feel bad about having them there. Second category, Catch Me Singing the Chorus mid-round, for those tracks where the chorus just kicks in just at the right moment when you're playing, and hey, well, yeah, it's fine. Meme, we can just do this one straight away. Yeah, done. Right. Grows on you. So the songs that you might have not been sure of at first, but they've kind of grown on you with time, and then grows on you like a mold, which is the ones that are kind of just a bit, you're still not sure on them. You kind of might like them, but they might not, you probably want something else playing, to be honest with you. Let's get started. So this is going to be an ordered tier list, so whatever is first on the list should probably be the best, because, spoiler alert, probably going to be a lot of things in these top two categories. Soul's theme, I would say probably belongs on this top tier. Like, it's good throughout, and then the chorus hits, and it's real good. Because that just, hits in the middle of the game, and you just hear it kick in, and it's just like, hell yeah, I'm playing a really fun game. And it's really catchy. It suits the vibe of the game. Suits the vibe of the character as well. It's classical butt rock. There's nothing too fancy going on here, musically speaking. It's as simple as simple could be, but it's simple and effective, and I quite like it for that reason. Let's move on. I don't think there's any disagreement on this one. Surely not. It's Bon Jovi as hell. This might be the best piece of music in Strive. It's very difficult to kind of argue past it. There's so much in its favor of it just being a banging theme. Has really cool callbacks to his old theme. It's really just fun to listen to. I will say the intro might be a slight bit long, so it just kind of goes and goes and goes and doesn't, by the time that you get to the chorus, because this is a 5-minute track, by the time you get to, the first chorus, the game's already ended, and that's kind of its weakness. You don't get to hear enough of it, which is a good problem to have. And this is just... the doubling up on the guitar as well, it's beautiful. It's so nice. It's so good to listen to. There's not... what can I say about this? It's so good that this is in there, though. Just for the variety's sake, it's so nice. And it takes some of the sting off being beaten to death by dolphins. I'll accept it. It's on its own tier. It's a meme. But it's a good one. Faust. This is a harder one. This is a much harder one, because Faust's theme is about 6 different songs in one. It's schizophrenic. It goes on a massive journey. It's very clearly, character-driven. But it has really high highs. I'm not a big fan of Screamo lyrics myself. I find them a little bit, I don't know, I find them tepid and a bit dull. But that's just me. But I really like the vibe of the track. I do feel that perhaps it takes a little bit too long to get into the meat of the song. And as a result, when you're playing, you get the screamo, you get the whispery bit, you get screamo, and then you get the chorus, which is the really high peak moment. The chorus is banging, though. The chorus is phenomenally good. and it's really catchy. Blue, Red, and Black Paranoia is like such a cool line, and it feels right. The one flaw I'd say that holds the song back, though, is towards the end. When you get to this kind of slow, melodic part of the song, it feels very jarring if you're playing like a series, you're playing several games in a row, and you get to this part of the track, and it's playing in the background of a fighting game. It feels very off and very, very strange to have this playing in the background. I remember watching Red Bull Kumite, and I think they had this playing in the background of one of the games, and it was just like, the chat was very confused when the song got this far in. It was like, what? It's good, but I don't think it's probably going to be super high on the second tier. It still sounds like he's saying, I'm a clown of fate to me. I will not be told any different. It's such a good line, like, I'm a clown of fate. It's such like a cool idea, right? It's a good lyric. And then it's like, no, it's armor-clad fate. It's like, it's good, but it's not as good as I'm a clown of fate. I find it really hard to dislike this song. Like, I'm trying to pick holes in it, but honestly, I really like the progression it has. I kind of like the different influences that kind of crop up through it, where you have this very different sound with like this very rock backing to it that dips frequently into very different sounds. And because you have that variance in it constantly, unlike something like Soul's theme, which is very linear, Soul's theme is just rock throughout, this goes places and shifts. And because you get these more melodic parts in this, it gives you breathing room in the track as well, and it feels really nice as a result. I think I'll even dare doing this with this one, and putting it above Soul's theme. I guess this is a hard one, like, whether or not it's actually better than Soul's theme. Because the thing with this is it goes, like, to me, this one, goes more up and down. Soul's theme is like a constant level of good. This one goes like great, good, great, good, and it kind of goes on a wave pattern, It's not as linear, but I think because it's not as linear, it's more interesting as a track, and that kind of wins out for me. Play the Hero is a really hard one, because it is really good. It's hard to, like, pick it apart and find the flaw with it. It's catchy, high tempo, like the character, it suits the character, fits his themes and his feel, and sort of it's a nice summation of the character himself as well. It's a nice reflection, which is kind of what you want as well. You want some meat to those songs and something behind them, right? That bass line is so good as well. That's so nice. It's such a nice little bit of breathing room. It's balm for the ears. Yeah, I'm happy with this placement, I think. I'll accept this. So Zato's theme is a really complicated one because it's a complicated piece of music. You have different time signatures going. You basically have two songs kind of layered on top of each other to kind of, it's part of the character, to suit the character. This is a piece of music you sit down and listen to and try and dissect the levels of it happening in your brain and try and figure it out as you go. While it's catchy and like the chorus is nice, what I would say is this might actually be too challenging a piece of music for game backing. Right, this is a piece of music you need to sit down and listen to, and you need to just kind of take a moment to appreciate. You need breathing room to figure out what's going on in the track. And as a result, I actually might put it here. That's probably going to be a controversial position for it, but I think as its job as backing music to a video game and to a fighting game, there's too much going on in terms of the time signatures and what's happening that you need it on its own to actually kind of figure out and appreciate what's happening. And so, yeah. Otherwise, it just becomes, again, it's a little bit like Faust's theme, where it's just a little bit too discordant, but Faust's theme, I think, has a stronger hook to it that makes it more palatable, I guess. Shout out to the end of the track, though. If you haven't listened to Zato's theme all the way through, go and do it. It's so worthwhile. It's a really good piece of music. There's one really nice detail at the end of the track, which is that it becomes a duet with the same singer from Milia's theme. And so Zato and Milia kind of being a thing is reflected in the soundtrack, and that's really cool. I really like that detail. So sappy. I'm a sucker for sappy. I like sappy. Yeah, Zato's theme as a piece of music I think is incredible. As a game backing piece of music I think is a little bit too much. Like it's too complex for its own good almost. No guesses for where this is going, right? Like this just gets to go straight up here, I'm pretty sure. Is it better than Kai's theme? Is the hard question. This is a fight we're going to have later on, I think, to try and sort out which is better. Because Milia's theme, even on the preview, it was good, and I was like, man, I'm probably really going to like this. And then when the full thing came out, it was just like, yeah, like, when you hear this in game, you feel good. Like, it feels like, hell yeah, we got Milia's theme playing, this is fun. It's a theme that I've seen, like, other characters just turn on and use frequently. It's also a nice breather from the more like rock oriented. This feels much more... Guilty Gear generally has like an 80s rock vibe to it. This feels a lot more modern and a lot more new age rather than sort of the older school. I love the initial chorus, but I love the ending chorus as well. The key shifts in it, the changes to bring it up just make it so good. You just get this kick into the final chorus. Bringing the second voice in slightly more. I love those extra voices in the background just kind of dipping in and out. It's so nice. It's such a good theme. I might have to put it there though. I might have to put it there. Kai's theme is that good. That funky backing guitar. Waka waka waka. I'm making such a weird noise. It suits. He's 80s, right? Axel, yeah, sure. I still think this ends up going here, and I think it goes like behind Zato's theme as well. It's good, it's fine, but I don't think it doesn't have the same weight to it as the other. Out of the box, like the chorus itself is nice. I think it still belongs down here compared to everything else. Like, I'd rather listen to Faust's theme. I'd rather listen to all these themes. It's got some nice touches to it. It's not bad. It's just not as strong as the others, it feels. Oh, this section is nice. And again, it comes 2 minutes into the track. Like, by 2 minutes, you're already done. You're moving on to the next game. This is actually a hard one. Angie's theme is... There's elements to it that I really like, and there's elements to it that I really don't like. The start of it, the actual intro, like, let's go back to the intro again, right? I'm not a big fan of, like, this discordant-sounding intro. As weird as it sounds, it's because, like, this is the first thing you hear, like, you know, heaven or hell, round one. And you go into this, once the guitar resolves out, it's fine. But that just initial moment is a little bit rough. And then it just suddenly changes tempo completely. To this more strummy side of much calmer song. And I think if it just fed itself into this a little bit nicer, I don't know, I think I might like it a little bit more. That being said, it definitely belongs in this section, right? Catch me singing the chorus mid-round because the hook of the song is so strong. It's so good. It's you feel the hype. It's like, it's hard not to jam along with that, right? It's so satisfying. So I definitely think it's in this section. I think overall as a track, it might be a bit weaker than Faust's. Faust just has so much weight to it. Faust's still having the same issue as Zato, but overall as a track, I think this is slightly worse. I really like it, but I think I like Alone Infection more as a piece of music. Oh boy. Oh boy. This is the tough one. Eno might have one of the more complicated themes. I'd say, like, between the three of them, Eno and Ram especially, with like these very prog rocky sounding themes. I think Eno suffers from a weak intro. Like, again, for a fighting game, like, it's fine as a piece of music, but as an intro, I think it's really weak. You hear it starting up and you're kind of like, oh right, it's Eno's theme, like what the hell? And then you get this very chaotic, discordant part in the middle where we shift gears, tempo goes up. And again, it suffers from the Zato issue without having the same level of payoff as the Zato theme. I think there's there's too many elements to this song that fight against it rather than helping it out. And similar to Zato, it's one of those tracks that you need to like sit outside the game and listen to and really sink into. But I still don't think it has the same level of payoff as Zato's theme. So I think Eno might be at the bottom of our list. I'm sorry. I think we're on the segment of characters who got hard done by their preview. Hellfire is a weird track. It's a really weird track. I'm still not sure what I think of it. I don't think I'm keen on this, to be honest. I don't think I'm keen on it. And the reason why is there are individual elements that I really like, but when you put them all together, it feels like they fight against themselves way too much. It's trying to do a number of different things. I like these like a cappella moments where they just let the music fade away, but then, you shift into this high tempo metal. Now we're doing this, then we're doing something else, and 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 as a result, it just becomes like this clash too much. It doesn't really feel like it has an identity other than the chaos. Like, we start with this very classical, almost baroque sounding beginning, then we go chaotic, then we go a cappella, and then we go to country, and then we go to Asia, and then we go to, and then we go to the Middle East, and then we go to all these different places and things, and it's like, what's happening at this point? And this is one of those tracks where I think you'll like individual parts of it, but as a whole, you might not like this bit, you might not like this bit, you might not like this bit. And so I think it has real problems in that regard. Again, it overcomplicates itself and kind of trips over itself in the process. Speaking of overcomplicates itself, Ram's theme. We have prog rock. I knew from the moment that, we heard this first in her preview trailer. They actually played the lyricless version in her preview trailer, and it's like, oh my god, this intro is actually incredible. Then they did the preview version of it, and I knew from the preview it was going to be weird and kind of interesting and prog rocky and strange and take a lot of attention. One thing I'll say this song does very well is it kind of works along Ram as a person, sort of trying to figure itself out and grow and develop, and like the very like stilted lyrics and stuff like that make it very, very, it's fitting for the character, right? It echoes the character, it reflects the character. I think I'm going to put Ram's theme here. it suffers from the same overcomplication issues as Zato, Ino, and to some degree, Leo. It's nowhere near as discordant as Leo's theme. I think it suits the tempo and feel of the game better than Ino's theme. But I think it suffers from the same issue as Zato's theme, which is it begs a listen to on its own, rather than accompanying a fighting game, rather than accompanying something else that should be the feature. This should be something in the background. And so when you have these complicated piano rhythms and stuff going on in the background, it becomes confusing because you have something very complicated on the screen. Also, like, this resolution of this bridge is very nice. It's very good. But again, it comes way too late. It feels like. So yeah, I think I'm fine with Ram's theme sort of down at the bottom here. I don't think it's a theme that people like go out and seek out that much. I think we'll be fine with it down here. Nogoriyuki. I don't think it's a shock that it should be up here, right? Like, this is catchy as hell. It's beautiful to listen to fight alongside. It's just so nice. It's just so good to listen to. I'll tell you one thing that I like about the song as well is like the lyrics come through clear enough. One of the issues with having one of the issues, I guess, with having a Japanese vocalist is sometimes the lyrics can sound almost they're kind of difficult to hear out above the din of the music as well. This feels like the lyrics are coming through clear. And so you probably will learn the lyrics to this way faster than you would learn them for a different song, where they're a little bit more... they're less enunciated and less clear. It's good, but I don't think it beats out Soul's theme quite... no, I think I prefer Soul's theme overall. I think Soul's theme is just slightly better. Like, the chorus resolution for Soul's theme I think is so good. I do like this segment, though. I love shit like this. Now, this is where my personal bias really takes over. Also, the sun's come outside, so I'm now whiter than white. Look at me, I'm glowing, I'm glowing. I've decided to go without the beanie because I actually shaved my head today, and like, my god, I've gone full egg. Anyway. I think that's a fair placement. I really like this song. But again, I think it has the weakness similar to Zato, similar to Faust, where it's like... this is fun to listen to, but I remember playing the beta, right? And during the beta you couldn't select your own music. If you're playing Geo, you would hear this over and over and over and over. And it did get kind of tiring eventually. And I was a huge fan of the Peppers growing up, and, you know, I know that this is basically Sabotage, especially, like, that guitarist did 100% Beastie Boys Sabotage, but the Peppersy sound to it as well, alongside the Beastie Boys, really does give it a warm place in my heart, but I can't say it's better than, like, these up here. Nothing in this bottom segment. LOL. Nothing's down here. Like, nothing's bad. Nothing I would say is like, oh yeah, no, this is outright awful. The only thing I would say is, like, between these two is, yeah, I'd kind of hope that something, like, I would rather, if the round started and I heard Requiem or Hellfire, I would definitely be like, man, I really hope that, you know, something else was playing, or I wish my song was playing. I think I'm fine. Everything else, I think I'm okay listening to. It's just, I think some tracks suffer from being overcomplicated, and I think, like, this bottom half is just like, yeah, they've overcomplicated themselves. Faust gets away with it because he has a good hook, and I think it's just such a good, well put together piece of music for Faust as well. Zato kind of has the same thing, but it's just, I don't know, the style of Zato's theme is less appealing. May's theme is just lol, like, it's fun to listen to. It's difficult to categorize. Now, I did say this is an ordered tier list, and I think I'm fairly happy with this order. I think, like, there's some debate, like, here between these two. I think Society might be a little bit too high, maybe, as well. But it's a really fun song to listen to. I do think these three are probably the strongest tracks in the game, and I do think Kai's theme is probably the best overall. As a piece of music being played in a fighting game, I think Kai's theme is the one that, like, when I hear it, I'm just like, hell yeah, let's go. So as we close this out, I want to know what your thoughts are, and I just want to re-emphasize, like, tier lists exist to promote discussion. That's why people make tier lists, to have discussions about things and to try and form their thoughts coherently about everything happening in the game. Their usage has always been to drive discussion and never really as an absolute. Please use tier lists responsibly. Please do not say that, oh, just because so-and-so says that this is the best character in the game, they might not objectively be right. Also, the tastes between sort of Japanese, American, and European tier lists have always been radically different, and have oftentimes not been reflected in tournament results lately as well. But yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts on the soundtrack. What songs do you like? What songs don't you like? I kind of love it all. Like, I still enjoy listening to all these, even Eno and Leo, who got kind of hard done by in this. But yeah, I think the only ones that, like, some of these are so tricky, but because they're tricky, that's why they're kind of down below, right? I'm sure you're going to disagree with me on some of these. I'd be interested to hear why. Thank you for joining me. I've been Josh, your voice most many, and I'll see you on the next one. Toodaloo.